Hello Oak Mountain and welcome to the studio. For Oak Mountain Media, I'm Grant Foree. Today I am delighted to have a state champion sitting down with us. Joined today by head coach Chris Love. Coach Love, thank you for coming in and congratulations on an incredible season.
Thanks, Grant. It's been really exciting, and the last few days have kind of been a whirlwind, but it's a good whirlwind.
So Coach, let's go back to kind of the beginning of where you got into basketball. How did you get into basketball and how did you get into coaching and end up here at Oak Mountain?
Yeah, I played in high school and was not good enough to go any further than that. I kind of always knew I wanted to coach, even in middle school, and basketball was my favorite sport, and just was fortunate, in going to college. I stayed at home to save money, and actually helped at the high school that I went to, Huffman High School. When I was a freshman in college, I was coaching the JV team. So, started there, and then just been very, very fortunate to have the opportunity to coach at Huffman, and then at Chelsea, and now here at Oak Mountain for, I guess, going on 22 years. So, it's just a love of the game. I think most coaches are probably, they get into it because they have a little bit of a competitive side to them, and just been very, very fortunate to be around a bunch of great people and great players over the years.
So how was this year's team different from last year's team that got to the Final Four, but ultimately it came up a little bit short? What was different about this team that got you to the top?
That's a great question. I think ultimately this team figured out the toughness and grit that was needed to kind of take that next step. I think that last year's group with Zane was a great player for us, had as good a run as a senior as I've ever been around, and I think we kind of relied on him to kind of make plays, and we kind of understood this year that it was going to take us as a team being very, very tough and gritty, especially on the defensive end, to be successful. And I think it's just a process. I say all the time, or I've said a few times, that I think there were some people panicking early in the year, and the players never panicked, the coaches never panicked. We just kind of knew it was the process. It's just a process that you go through of trying to find yourself and playing your best basketball in January and February. And again, to answer your question, I think this group just figured out the toughness and grit that was needed to put us over the edge.
You mentioned y'all never panicked. Was there like a point in the season where you kind of realized that this team could get back to the Final Four and had what it took to be able to win it?
Yeah, I think that I think when early in the year we had a really good week when we were healthy. We had about a whole year where we were healthy, and we beat a very good Ramsey team, and we beat a very good Huffman team, and I think we thought then that everything being equal and us staying healthy, that we had an opportunity. And then right after that is when we had several more injuries occur. So I think we kind of all felt that we had the talent for sure, but it just takes so much more than that I think a lot of people don't understand. There's a lot of talented teams out there. There's a lot of really good teams with really good players, with really good coaches. We weren't the only one, so we just kind of had to figure out what it really was going to take once we got everybody healthy. And again, I keep on going back to the toughness and grit that we had toward the end.
You mentioned some losses and some injuries. How did those losses and the injuries in early January get you guys ready for the toughness of that tournament where you're playing really good teams, and Brady gets hurt in the first minute of the game and the state championship? Get you guys ready to be able to overcome those losses and injuries to be able to win?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and that's exactly what happened. If we didn't have the adversity that we had earlier in the year to make us kind of take a step back and figure out what we really needed to do to be successful, then I don't think we're sitting here having this conversation right now. Adversity is not fun to go through. I prefer not ever having any adversity at any aspect of my life, but that's just part of it. And those opportunities, you have to look at adversity as an opportunity, and it's an opportunity for us to grow and get better. Again, if we had not had that, if we had won all of our games early on, we don't win a state championship. I mean, that's just the fact. We needed those things to happen for us to figure out what we really needed to do to be the best team that we could be.
Think back to last Wednesday for a minute, if you will. What was kind of that message to the team before you all went out there to play for the championship? And kind of at halftime when you were up 11-8, what were you telling your team throughout the game to stay focused and win?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know I'm repeating myself here a lot, but, you know, we talked before the game, we have 14 guys on our team, that it was going to take all 14. That didn't mean all 14 play, but all 14 have a role. It was going to take all 4 of our coaches. It was going to take everybody a part of our program for us to get it done. And we talked about that before the game, and that's kind of the way we've done things the last, you know, couple of months of the year. Well, as it turned out, Brady gets hurt, so somebody's got to step up. And not only does somebody have to step up in terms of playing, but somebody's got to step up on the bench and be more vocal and more positive, which we had a ton of guys that were. You know, I think that we constantly preached, you know, that we were built for this moment because of all the adversity that we have been through. When Brady gets hurt, I think the first time out or into the quarter that we had, that was one of the things we said, guys, we're built for this. Yeah, we had a guy go down. We've handled that before. You know, now we've got to step up. Somebody's got to step up. We'll handle it again. The fact that we didn't shoot it great, you know, it was kind of an ugly game. I'll be the first to admit that it was an ugly game. You can get down about that, but that's just part of the process. It is what it is. Now let's defend. Let's get rebounds. Let's win the game that way. So we just constantly preach those things, and the kids just constantly, showed their toughness and grit to get it done.
Talk about your senior leaders for just a minute. Noah Young, tournament MVP, Colin Patrick, Connor Friel. 2 of them didn't really play a whole lot this year, but what did they bring to your program and your team, not just winning and playing well on the court, but off the floor and leadership?
Yeah, you know, they were incredible. Connor, you know, bless his heart, Connor gets hurt the first day of practice. You know, he gets a concussion the first day of practice, and then he gets healthy and turns his ankle real bad and is suffering with an ankle injury throughout the whole year. But kept a great attitude and continued to work hard in practice and push our other guys in practice. Colin Patrick is one of the toughest son of a guns that I've ever coached. I think we all know by watching us play that he's all over the floor, diving, hustling. You know, he didn't get the minutes I'm sure that he wanted, but he was an unbelievable teammate and worked his butt off in practice and made us better in practice. And then Noah Young, you know, Noah just grew and matured so much over these last few years, and couldn't be any happier for him having that moment of making some big shots for us along our playoff run and then being MVP of the Final Four. Absolutely, you know, we don't name captains. Our seniors are considered to be our captains, and this was as solid a senior group as we've ever had in terms of high character kids that wanted what was best for our team, whatever that meant for them.
Think back through this whole playoff run that you just mentioned. What did it mean for your team and you to look up in the stands at every game and see a sold-out Sea of Oak Mountain, and how did that help you guys down the stretch of the season?
We've made a point of using the word together, that we were going to do this together as a team and as a program, and that 100% included our fan base and our community. Unbelievable. I mean, I don't have the words to say how much they made a difference for us in our playoff run. When we go play James Clemens, and I know you were there, I mean, to have that many people travel a couple hours up the road, and that was a huge difference in their in that game, having that fan base. You know, very, very much a part of the success that we had. I don't think we have the success if we don't have the fan base that we have in the student body and the community. You know, Oak Mountain's a special place. You know, I think we pull for each other. We want what's best for each other, and that couldn't have been any more, you know, a better example than looking up in the stands and seeing again. You know, we coaches and I talked about after the game how if we didn't have the pandemic, you know, I think Bartow Arena holds 8,500. We might have had close to 8,500 there. So now I can't thank the community and our student bodies enough. And everybody's been so nice and the kids, I mean, the number of kids just walking the halls saying, you know, good, congratulations, coach, you know, and I know our players are getting it too. I mean, that's just special. We got good people here at Oak Mountain. We got good people here, and I'm very appreciative.
What does the state championship mean for you and your program and your coaches and your players?
We didn't need a state championship to define who we are as a basketball program. There's nobody that wants to win more than I do and gets more upset when we don't. But we didn't need a state championship to define what we were about. You know, we're about hard work, selflessness, doing the right thing, being a great teammate. We've exemplified that going all the way back to when Coach North started the program 22 years ago and I was his assistant. It's nice now at this point to for the players and our coaches and our community to have this opportunity and to have this stage right now. I mean, our kids just, I mean, to see the smiles on their faces, our coaches, Coach McMahon, I've got to say this, Coach McMahon, and I said this in an interview, and I'm not exaggerating, Coach McMahon coached this group the last month of the year. I was not effective with them, but that's part of being a team, you know. We're a team of coaches. I needed him to step up. He stepped up for us, and did an unbelievable job coaching our kids and with our scout. And then Kevin McMahon, our other assistant, did a great job. And you know, Kevin's kind of our motivational guy. And then Coach Jackson, who is kind of our even keel, not too high, not too low, making suggestions here and there that are very, very important. And then our players just going out and just being totally committed to what we were asking them to do and totally committed to each other. You know, just unbelievable experience for everybody. So I'm so happy for all of them and so happy for our community. And it's just a special time. And you know, when you do things, when you feel like you're doing things the right way, to see it culminated with a championship. Again, we didn't need that to know that we were doing things the right way, but it's kind of fun to be able to have that to culminate it.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for letting Tyler and I be part of the season this year. Congratulations on the championship.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Grant and Tyler and all you guys in the media. Y'all have been awesome for us. And again, that gets back to together, man. We're doing this together. Y'all are just as big a part of this as anybody else. And I can't thank everybody enough. Thank y'all so much.
All right, thank you. That was Coach Chris Love. For Oak Mountain Media, I'm Grant Foree. Be sure to follow us on social media at OakMTN Media and the basketball team on Twitter and Instagram at OMHS Basketball.